various sectors of Budget 2025. The Budget 2025, of course, is a continuation of our program over the last 4 years to give full effect to the manifesto of the People's Progressive Party. As you know, we went to the electorate with the manifesto, and I'm very pleased to say that we have been able to deliver on all our commitments we made in that manifesto. Having a government that you trust, having a government that you can trust to deliver what they promise is an important part of national life. And that is what the People's Progressive Party civic government is about. We are about a government that you can trust, a government that you can rely on, a government that will deliver to you whatever we commit. So we have been able to deliver our commitment around what I would say is a people-oriented strategy, because the whole philosophy of the last 4 budgets was about improving the conditions of people, the life of people, the conditions of community, empowering people, creating wealth, building prosperity, expanding growth, opening up opportunity, and investing in the development of our people all across the country, whether it's healthcare, education, community services, roads, infrastructure, drainage, agriculture. It was all about investing around people, empowering people, uplifting people. So let's move on to look at some of the promises that we were able to fulfill over the last 4 years. We have been able, as you know, to reverse the more than 200 taxes. These were 200 plus punitive taxes that was imposed by the APNU AFC government. These taxes killed our economy. It killed productivity. It extracted disposable income from the people of our country. These taxes, as you know, would have reversed growth and destroyed many of the sectors within our economy. So one of the first things we did was the adjustment to the tax regime to improve the investment climate of our country and provide relief to citizens. These included restoring the VAT zero rate on basic food items and household necessities, rolling back of freight costs to pre-pandemic levels, reducing excise tax on gasoline and diesel, and adjusting the income tax threshold. These are only some of the measures that we implemented. These and other measures aimed at crowding in investment and would have saved the private sector more than $100 billion annually. It would have boosted foreign direct investment and expand the creation of jobs within our country. So we reversed the 200 punitive taxes imposed by the APNUFC government. We adjusted the tax regime to improve the investment climate and provide relief to citizens, and that is putting more disposable income in the pockets of people, removing the burdensome license fees. We had major non-oil sector reported higher domestic and foreign direct investment as a result of these initiatives. The non-oil GDP growth rate exceeded the growth rate reported by many countries across the globe, and we exceeded our manifesto promises. So when you look at the promises we made in the manifesto, you will see that in every area we were able to exceed the expectations that we even set ourselves and we committed ourselves to. Now let us move on to look at some of these promises that we were able to exceed even before the presentation of Budget 2025. The Gold Scholarship Program, more than 20,000, close to 30,000 scholarships issued, 70% of which went to women. ICT liberalization, this would have saved consumers billions of dollars, reducing the cost of data, reducing the cost of capital for ICT businesses, and giving wider access to ICT-related services, data services that are critical in empowering especially young people. We reintroduced the Because We Care grant. And if you look at the restoration of the Because We Care grant, this would have seen a cash injection or a direct cash transfer of more than $26 billion to the children of our country. And that is before 2025. More than $26 billion. This was a grant that was taken away by the last government. This is a grant that we were able to give back to our children, putting more than $26 billion in their pockets. The discipline service bonus, we were able to restore that bonus. Support to the transportation sector with investment in infrastructure, the removal of the taxes on the fuel and diesel, the LCDS, bringing back the LCDS, earning us more than $700 million that is directly invested in communities, drainage and irrigation, 15% of which goes directly to indigenous community. We invested hundreds of millions of dollars, more than $28 billion on electricity generation to ensure that we could keep pace with the expansion of the economy and demand for electricity. This investment would have seen more than 126 megawatts of new power added to the grid. All of this would have supported the massive investment transformation. All of this is linked to the private sector expansion, whether it's hotels, new office complexes, new housing development, new malls. All of this is interrelated. The Gas Ashore project that will bring down the cost of electricity by 50%, that will give back more money into the pockets of people, that would make us more competitive, that would allow the migration of more international businesses in manufacturing, agro-processing, industrial development here in Guyana, thereby creating sustainable jobs and long-term jobs, and of course, reducing the cost of electricity. So these are some of the simple examples of how the budgets work for people directly, how the investment from the budget translate into people's development, translate into the prosperity of people, translate into the expansion of businesses and the creation of jobs. Let us proceed now to look at some of the sectors. Now, if you look at this graph on screen, it gives you a very good picture as to what the investment in healthcare has done for us. It is one thing to have the investment, and if you look at what the investment has brought us, look at the dotted line, the infant mortality rate per 1,000 live birth. You can see how this has been going down consistently over the years. The under 5 mortality rate per 1,000 birth, this too has been going down consistently. And then you see the number of physicians per 10,000 population rising rapidly, and the number of hospital beds per 10,000 population also rising rapidly. And this is a direct result of the investment we are making in healthcare and education. The qualitative difference that is making. We have more doctors in the system, more health workers, more medical technologists, more nurses. All of these persons are within the system. And this came about because before Budget 2025, we were able to spend more than $108 billion. More than $108 billion we've invested in the sector. And this, we have not even seen the benefit as yet of the 6 regional hospitals which will come on stream. The 6 regional hospitals that will create more beds, that will bring more specialized services. Between 2021 and 2023, all the regional health centers were upgraded at a cost of $12 billion. Between 85 and 90% of drugs and medical supplies are now available in the healthcare sector. That is our health dispensaries, our pharmacies, our hospitals are able to deliver between 85 and 90% of the drugs that is required by our patients. The public healthcare system is now able to provide a wide array of services for the treatment of diabetes, heart disease, and we're seeing more and more specialized services, more and more specialized healthcare services, whether it's hip replacement, knee replacement. These services are now available in our public healthcare system. Now we have a total of 57 dental clinics distributed across the country, with each region assigned a dental surgeon. This was not there before. In the last 3 years, we have been able to establish 57 dental clinics across the country, and not only assign the dental clinic, but have a situation where we now have dental surgeons assigned to each one of these dental clinics. So it is not only about the facilities, it's about investing in the human resource asset to deliver quality health care, world-class health care. We are now also investing in the electronic management system for health records, the patient management information system. In our hinterland communities, we're able now to have 50 telemedicine sites across the country, all of which will add to the quality of health care that our citizens everywhere in Guyana now enjoy. Let's move to education. Here in education, you see the graph. It shows you the trained teachers across the education sector by percentage, and you see the rapid growth since 2020. And it also shows you the gross enrollment rate at our TVET centers and our tertiary institutions. And there again, you see more persons are qualified and are going into the TVET centers or going to tertiary education, because more persons are coming out of secondary schools. More persons have access to secondary schools today. And this came as a result of the more than $54 billion of investment we made in the last 4 years to construct and rehabilitate schools, improve infrastructure, expand infrastructure in some instances. We have 34 schools were either extended or constructed new since 2020, while we're able to maintain 350 nursery schools, 440 primary schools, and 115 secondary schools. The government added 7 classrooms last year to schools in different regions. Region 2, 4, 5, 6, and 9. So we have been investing not only in infrastructure, the school, having good buildings, but also building recreational facilities for children to enjoy, creating good public open space for quality of life issues, training our teachers to ensure that we have 100% trained graduates, investing now in the One Guyana Digital School, the Guyana Digital School that will serve all of the Caribbean and keep children in a learning environment 24/7. The Guyana Digital School will be innovative, one of the first digital school in the region. All of these things we are investing in to ensure that we are keeping up pace with what is happening globally. Public security. If you look at public security, this is another area that is key. Building a secure country, building secure communities. And you can see from this graph the investment that we have made and the remarkable benefits of the investment. Look at the rate at which reported serious crime has declined, and the rate at which murder rate has more or less not only remained flat, but also declined in 2024. And this is as a result of the investment we have made. Between 2020 and 2024, we've invested more than $113 billion in public security. Several projects we've invested in. We have built 23 new police stations, 14 buildings that are now strategic police outposts, 5 command and operational centers for the Safe City and Safe Country program. We have completely redone 5 divisional headquarters, information technology system, building out the CCTV camera system to help us in terms of higher crime detection, crime and increasing the crime-solving ratio. All of these things we are seeing tremendous improvement in as a result of the investment we would have made. Let us now take a look at Budget 2025 and how Budget 2025 will continue this story. The story of giving our pensioners more, the story of giving our children more, investing more in our communities. In Budget 2025, old age pension will now go to $41,000, which is doubling what old age pensioner got when we came into government. $41,000 per month. You have two pensioners in a home, that is $82,000. Plus we remove the VAT on electricity and water and give a 5% discount on water. We give subsidies on water to the pension. So if you have two pensioners in the home, sometimes the total monthly benefit adds up to close to $100,000. The Because We Care grant, we have been able not only to restore that grant, but we went beyond the commitment we made in the manifesto, and we have increased that grant to $50,000. We have basically doubled the Because We Care grant. Not only did we brought it back, but we took it to $50,000. Education. We have now made University of Guyana education free of cost. That is $13.4 billion, more than $13.4 billion, that we're going to invest on behalf of the students, of the people of Guyana, to give them free University of Guyana education. And this is outside the GOLD program. This is outside of all the TVET program we're also supporting. This year, we will also exceed the 50,000 house lots we committed ourselves to. Many people doubted that we would have been able to achieve this. But we have shown not only were we able to achieve it, but we surpassed it. Because you can trust us. We are a government that is trustworthy. We have demonstrated to you that you can trust us with our commitment. Then when you look at the fiscal policy, the APNU policy and our policies, you will see that our fiscal policies were all very prudent. We have low fiscal deficit if you compare the fiscal deficit. Look at the carbon credit financing that is coming in. We are expanding the stream of revenue. We have been able to contain inflation. We have been able to, when they doubted that we can get the financing for the Gas to Shore project, we were able to get all of these financing. Our debt to GDP ratio, all of that, we have seen tremendous improvement in our debt to GDP ratio, which was maintained at acceptable level and is one of the lowest in Latin America and the Caribbean. So our policies, our monetary policies, our fiscal policies, and our transformative agenda has demonstrated qualitatively that we have built an agenda in which our economy is being transformed, our infrastructure is being transformed, our healthcare system is being transformed, our education sector is being transformed. We are being able to create sustainable jobs. We're expanding the economic base of our country, the diversification of our economy. The non-oil economy is performing tremendously. The building out of a tourism sector, the building out of the new industrial hub, manufacturing hub that will create the new jobs for our country. All of this infrastructure, the supporting mechanism, the foundational pillars for this new economy, all of it is well in place now, so that the sustainability of our economy the sustainability of our country, the resilience of our country will be safeguarded. So, looking at the diversification and the resilience of our economy, if you look at this graph, it demonstrates to you how you've been able to build resilience. How we have been able to build resilience with the investment we have made. How we have been able to diversify every sector. If you look at 2020, 2024, and then the percentage change, you will see. And I'm not even comparing, there's nothing to compare to under the AP and UFC period. You will see that other crops between 2020 and 2024, there's tremendous growth. Livestock, there is growth. Forestry, there is growth. Fishing, there is growth. Other mining and quarrying, there is growth. Rice, there is growth. Manufacturing sector, there is growth. The construction sector, growth. Wholesale and retail trade, growth. Accommodation and food services, growth. The real estate activities, tremendous growth. So when you look at the economy, when you look at all segments of the economy in the last 4 years, you can see the policies of the government has enabled continuous and sustainable growth. This adds to the resilience of the economy. This adds to the diversified portfolio of the economy so that we can withstand greater shocks. The economy is not only standing on an oil and gas foundation, it is standing on many legs. And investments and policies that we are pursuing is ensuring that that is the case. Let us look at our international reserve. And you will see the improvement also with the growth of the economy. If you look at market security and international reserves, you will see that it is reflective of the growth, every aspect of the economic life of our country. This is leading to increase in market security, increase in international reserve, and greater financial stability. That is what we are building into the economy. Financial stability, securing great international reserve, and increasing our market security. We can now look at public debt. This is another indicator. You know, people will say, oh, you're borrowing so much, but look at our public debt indicators. We have a decline in our debt to GDP ratio, a decline in our debt to GDP ratio. We have improved fiscal position regionally. We have greater debt service capability now. And of course, our economy is in a debt sustainability position. In 2024, our external debt service as a share of our export was at its lowest as 0.6% compared to 4.9% in 2020. And then if you look at our capability to service our debt, Guyana domestic debt service as a share of revenue in 2024 was a mere 1.9%. What this means is that less than 2 cents on every dollar earned locally now goes towards servicing our domestic debt. All of this is because of the strong, capable management we have been able to put in place. Guyana debt to GDP ratio is among the lowest in Latin America and the Caribbean, at 24.3%. To put this into context, in 2024, the average debt to GDP ratio in the Caribbean was about 63%, with a few countries surpassing 100%. That is what is happening around us. A few countries surpassing 100%, the rest of the region at an average of 63%, we are 24.3%. And then look at since 2002, the public and publicly guaranteed debt to GDP ratio has declined by 27.3%. This is what gives us greater fiscal space. So when you listen to some of these gurus out there, what they say has no relativity. It has no relationship to the reality of our country and our economy. Let's move on to our budget deficit. Here again you see, since 2020, there has been a significant decline in central government deficit as a share of GDP, indicating the presence of macroeconomic prudentials. From 2020 to 2025, the share of deficit has declined by more than 2 percentage points, indicating greater fiscal stability. Tax as a share of GDP has also declined since 2020 by almost 8 percentage points. Tax as a share of GDP has also declined. And this is demonstrated by the fact that the government is giving up tax revenue to allow more disposable income to the population, to stimulate economic investment and growth in the private sector, to make access to capital cheaper, to make access to housing loans cheaper. And that is why you're seeing more people are building their own homes. More people are investing in their homes. More people are going for loans. The cost, the interest on loans has declined substantially. All of that is linked to the policies and the framework of these budgets that we have passed. If you look at the financing of the budget, you will see it points to three very important aspects. One, we have a low tax burden on the population. There's increased access to financing, and we have been able to have a lot of front loading of investment. The front loading of investment in infrastructure that are critical for economic expansion. The front loading of investment to create, for example, drainage and irrigation system, opening up of new lands, so that we are creating the enabling environment for the future economic opportunity. This is what we're building. Strong country, strong society. Sustainability in everything we do. And let's move on now to investment by the private sector. As a result of all of these policies that we have pursued, and all the investment we have made, what you see, in 2024, investment in the private sector increased by almost 20% compared to 2019. What that speaks about? Investors' confidence. People seeing opportunities. You look at basic, what we're doing to boost food security. Investment in agriculture has increased by almost 160%. Investment in real estate has increased by almost 78%. Every single segment of the economy, whether it's agriculture, mining, manufacturing, services, household, real estate, you see that there is greater investment, greater spending, because there is more disposable income, greater affordability in the system itself, demand for higher level of goods and services, because more income, more disposable resources is available. Those are the examples that exist before our eyes as to how the structure of the economy is changing as a result of the investment, how the quality of people's life is improving as a result of the investment. Let us look at 2025 and beyond. Because what we are investing here also is in the long term, creating a platform for long-term growth and economic expansion, ensuring that our country has an attractive framework for investment and FDIs, foreign direct investment, position our country as a major destination for investment, investing in technology, investing in world-class services, investing in food security, investing in manufacturing, agro-processing, investing in the diversification of our country, investing in our energy sector to make it efficient, reliable, competitive, investing in the people of our country to make them more skilled, give them better levels of education, so the earning potential, the earning power is also enhanced. These are the things that we are doing as a government, that Budget 2025 continues to build on as we expand the economy of our country. So I just wanted to spend some time this evening going through some of these with you so that, of course, you can understand how Budget 2025 and all that we've been doing over the years is directly related to the improvement in your quality of life. Thank you.